Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In my previous video on Apex Trigger Framework, we have learned handler-based trigger. Today we are going to learn about another framework which is virtual class-based trigger framework. So quickly sharing the agenda. First of all, we are going to see an introduction to Apex Trigger Framework. Then we'll see key objectives of implementing Apex Trigger Framework. Then we'll be having benefits of Apex Trigger Framework, few popular frameworks, a common use case. Now, introduction. So the Apex Trigger framework is design pattern in Salesforce used to manage and organize Apex Trigger effectively, which ensures the scalability, improves the maintainability, and improves the reusability of the code as well. Yeah. So it also helps avoiding common pitfalls such as trigger recursion, bulkification, complex trigger logic that can arise as an application grows. Now, key objective. Let's understand the key objectives of Apex Trigger Framework. Single trigger per object, which is what Salesforce suggests as well. Separates of concern. So the code will be separated so that whenever something fails or whenever you want to see something, you have to go to a single place and check it out. Order of execution, even when you have a messy code, you are not sure about in which order the code will get executed. But if you have framework based code, then you know this thing is doing going first, this is second, this is third. Bulk handling, you can handle bulk record, which also is the key objective of trigger framework. Avoiding recursion, many a time it happens like it goes into recursion when you do something, right? So to avoid recursion as well. Now let's see benefits. Clean and organized code, we all know. As of maintenance, maintenance will be less or maintenance will be easy as well. Testability, the code can be tested in better way if it's being written in better way, right? Scalability, the code can be scalable. You can easily scale the code which you have written using Apex Trigger Framework. Minimize the recursion. You can avoid recursion or have a minimal portion of recursion. Okay. Now let's see the popular framework. So there are many frameworks available in the market, but here are a few of them. The first one is handler-based trigger framework, which we covered in our last video. You can go to my channel and check it out, the handler-based trigger framework as well. Framework using virtual class and framework using interface as well. So today we are going to see framework using virtual class. Okay. Now virtual class based framework, what it is. So a virtual class based Apex trigger framework helps standardize and simplify trigger management in Salesforce. It ensures scalability, reusability, and maintainability as we discussed, while avoiding common pitfalls like recursion and bulkification issue. So this is what virtual class based framework comes with. Now key concept. Let's see the key concept. It needs a virtual base class which will have all the method defined. Then concrete trigger handler class which will have actual those method implemented. Then trigger dispatcher which is actually calling the handler class, and trigger entry point which is a trigger, right, where we enter into the logic or where from where the actual logic of trigger implementation will be kicked in. So this was the concept. Now let's understand the use case, and the use case is the same that we have used for trigger handler-based trigger framework. Okay. So a company wants to automate the management of contact related to account in Salesforce to maintain data consistency and reduce the manual effort. The following key requirements have been identified. Automatic contact creation. So whenever a new account is created, a primary contact should be created automatically. Phone number synchronization. If an account's phone number changes, all the related contacts should have their phone number updated automatically. Logging account deletion restored. So many times it happens, salesperson by mistake deletes the account. So we should have a log of it. Right? So who deleted, when it got deleted. If you want to restore, then anybody can go to recycle bin and restore it. if it is a actual account got deleted by mistake. Yeah. Which says transaction type, whether it was deleted or restored, summary, what happened, transaction date, on which date this deletion or restoration happened, and the user, okay, actually who performed that. So this was the use case, and now let's review this. Okay, so I'll quickly show you the example and then we'll move forward to how we have implemented that. So I'll click new, and let's say let me create an account called test account. I won't populate much detail, I'll just populate the phone number and I'll hit save. So an account got created, and if I go to related, I can see the contact got created. You see, even the phone number is the same. Now let me try to update the phone number here. Or let me add 91 and let me save it. And if I go over here and refresh, let me see if that got changed or not. You see, it got changed. Now if I again go over here and remove, let's say 91, and I'll save it. So it should have updated the contact as well. So I'll just refresh this and we can see the change has been done on the contact. So that was the first and second part of the use case where we talked about automatic contact creation and phone number synchronization. Now let's see the logging level stuff. Now let's say I went over here and I have deleted the record. But before that, let me show you the transaction logs as well. So if I go over here and refresh, I went to all and I can't see anything. Okay. But as soon as I delete this, I should be seeing a log over here. So I'll come over here and I'll refresh. You can see the transaction type was delete. The summary is an account with the name test account has been deleted by user on which timestamp and performed by which user. See? So this is a log that we have recorded. Now what we'll do is we'll go to recycle bin and we'll try to restore that particular account. So I came over here and I clicked on restore. And then if I come over here, I see another record, which is of type restore, the message, the timestamp, and the user who performed this. So this all thing have been managed via code. Previously, we have seen it using handler-based framework. Today, we have configured it using virtual class-based framework. Now, let's understand how the virtual class-based trigger framework has been implemented. So I'll go to Visual Studio Code where I can see several steps. So I've created a virtual class called trigger handler, which has different methods like before insert, before update, before delete, after insert, after update, after delete, and after undelete. Each one has one or multiple parameter. So when it is before insert, we have list of new record. When before update, we have old and new record. And for others as well, we have one or more parameters. Now we have created this virtual class. Now what's next? Now what we have to do is we'll have to create a dispatcher. Now what does dispatcher have? The dispatcher has one method called run and which is having trigger handler reference. And over here what we are doing is we are checking if the trigger is before insert, we are calling handler.before insert method. If trigger is before update, we are calling before update. And if it is before delete, we are calling before delete method. Same for this. After insert, we are calling handler.after insert method. After update, we are calling handler.after update. In delete, we are calling after delete, and undelete, we are calling after undelete method of the handler class. Okay. So this was the simple trigger handler and trigger dispatcher. Now, what's the advantage over here? Right. So let's say you are using multiple classes or multiple Apex triggers. So one on account, one on opportunity, one on XYZ object. At that time, if you are handling or if you are having, let's say, before insert trigger, before update trigger, before delete, after insert, after undelete, then you will have to write this stuff over there in each and every trigger handler or trigger. Correct? Now, in this case, when you use virtual class based trigger framework, you are only writing it over here. And in actual trigger or actual handler, you don't have to check whether it is before insert, whether it is before update. You don't have to do it. What you have to do is simply create the trigger and you call the dispatcher.run method and then pass the account trigger handler that I have created. So first of all, let me show you account trigger handler. So this is the account trigger handler class that we have created, and you have to just pass the reference of account trigger handler into it. Once you have passed, it will come to trigger dispatcher, which is a unique class which will be running for each and every trigger handler. And it is checking like if it is before insert, then handler.before insert method will be called. So if I go over here, I can see what is before insert method. I don't have that method implemented over here. Otherwise, I could have find it. Okay. But let's say my method is after insert. So if I go over here and check handler.after insert, it comes over here and creates the contact for us. As we have seen as well, as soon as an account gets created, our contact was getting created. So this code got executed. When it came to, let's say, after update, it came over here. So the same piece of code got executed. It came over here and it has checked. It is triggered dot after update. Then this after update method of account trigger handler got called and it has updated the phone number on each and every contact related to that particular account. Same for deletion. So at the time of deletion, this after delete method got called. The before delete method got called, and we have seen the transaction log getting created like an account with name. This has been deleted by user. We have seen the log as well. And after undelete, again the same piece of code got executed once an undelete operation or restore operation happened. It came to trigger dispatcher and it has called after undelete method, which has again logged a transaction called an account with name so and so has been restored by user. So this is how you can use trigger dispatcher and virtual class based framework to avoid rewriting of this kind of code so that it can be managed equally or managed or maintainable as well. So that was it on virtual class based trigger framework. Thank you very much for watching the videos. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and like and share the content. Thank you very much.